Hello, this video is going to explain the lesson plan demonstration project for Education 270. This is the lesson plan project task sheet, which you can access on D2L in the weekly folder and also in the project folder. Now, this project's purpose is to demonstrate an instructional strategy that we have learned in class to your peers, and this will also help you and your peers understand how to use it in the classroom and prepare yourself for planning to teach literacy using this strategy. We've done one lesson plan before. That was for our diversity lesson plan. That was not the full hack lesson plan, so we're going to step it up and we're going to do the full hack lesson plan. That format I will preview in just a moment, but also know that you can find that in the project folder as well. Hack uses a standard lesson plan for every course. If you have been with our program, you should have seen this many times starting in 110 and 111. So the first task for this project is going to be to look on Facebook the week that this is introduced, and you will find your name and an instructional strategy assigned to you. Now at the bottom here, I have the list of the instructional strategies. They fall into 4 categories. The first is early literacy skills. Then we have emergent literacy skills. We have vocabulary skills and comprehension skills. At this point, we've covered all of these strategies within our presentations. So I've talked about them, you've done activities, so you at least know what they are. There are a few that we haven't gotten real detailed in depth, but if you have a question, you can ask me about the strategy. You also can go online and just do a quick Google search and you'll see lots of different ideas about the strategy. But they are basically things that we've covered in our presentations. You will each be assigned one of these strategies, and you may not change and you may not switch. I've done this for a specific purpose because we need lots of different strategies represented here for you to really understand and learn about them. The choice you do have, though, is you can select the age of learner that best matches the strategy and the population that you most want to teach. So if you most want to teach preschoolers and you can figure out a way to make that strategy work in a preschool classroom, then that's the kind of lesson you should plan. If you want to teach third graders, then you'll take your strategy and make it work for third graders. The only skills that don't work great for the upper elementary would be the early literacy skills. Those are basically pre-reading skills, and you're almost going to have to plan a lesson for someone who is in preschool or kindergarten if you get an early literacy skill. Emergent literacy is basically pre-K through first grade. You can make it work. And the vocabulary and comprehension we can use at any level. Now, you will plan this lesson according to the hack lesson plan format, as I already mentioned. Also for this lesson plan project, you're going to be making the materials you need to demonstrate the lesson plan. Now, you're not going to teach this lesson. You're not going to pretend that we're students, but you are going to walk us through your lesson and you're going to show your materials that you need. If you have handouts, if you have videos, if you have books or an assessment piece, we want to see all that. The lesson plan demonstration video then will be shared on Go React, which will be in a folder on the week that it's due on D2L. Go React is a really neat piece of software, and it allows you to share a video and it allows your peers to comment, and I will also be commenting, and it stops you throughout your lesson so you can read and listen to your comments. So it's a really nice way to see exactly when and where someone gives a comment to you in your video. When you upload your video, please follow this format: instructional strategy category, then the name of the instructional strategy you were assigned, and then in parentheses your name. An example would be emergent literacy, syllable activity, Jennifer Myers. And you can see that's what I would have been assigned. Syllable activity is in green. The emergent literacy skills is the category that falls under, and then my name. So that's part 1. You're going to be assigned a strategy. You're going to plan a lesson using the hack format. You're going to make your materials. You're going to video yourself sharing your materials and the lesson plan. And then you're going to put that on Go React by the due date. That's task 1. Real quick, I'm going to pop over. I'm going to show you. Let's see. Here's the hack format. This format, let's see if we can make this a little bit bigger for you. It's not going to squeeze. Sometimes it stretches and sometimes it doesn't. Yeah, it's not going to stretch for us. But anyway, it's similar to what you used when you did your diversity lesson plan, but the difference are you will need to have related materials, which is going to be one book in addition to the book you're using in your lesson plan, one website, and one app. So you'll need 3 things there. You'll need to provide adaptations, and these are adaptations that you would use if you were using this lesson plan with an English language learner, a student with a disability, or even a student who's gifted or would need enrichment to your lesson. You also are going to plan an extension, and this is to be extended not in the classroom, but something that you could extend at home with the child's family. You would want to provide information as to what the activity is and how that relates to what they learned in class. For the reflection, please make sure that you answer these questions. They are on every single hack lesson plan that you do, and we are looking for an answer to each question. I think the rest of the format is the same. This is very detailed, and if you have any questions, please let me know. The next thing I want to show you is the lesson plan rubric. Now, this lesson plan is a key assessment, and what that means is everybody in Education 270 will do a lesson plan. We grade everybody on the same rubric, and this data is collected and it's actually used for our accreditation when NACCE comes in or PDE comes in. So everyone who takes the time to do this lesson plan will be scored on the same scale. Please make sure that you take a look at this scale. This is the same scale as you can access on D2L. It looks exactly the same, but I will be looking at your rationale, your activity, your procedure, and there's 2 steps for the procedure that we'll be grading. The first one is, do you have an attention grabber to your lesson plan, and do you have active participation from the students during the lesson? And the second part, also, do you have closure to your lesson plan? I look at all those. Then I also will be looking, does this include teacher facilitation and allow for the child to be thinking on their own but guided by the teacher? And we talk a lot about scaffolding and the I do, we do, you do practice. Those things fall under the procedure category. Look at the basics. Do you have the correct standard? Do you have the correct objective written? And is your curriculum alignment correct? All right, let's see here. Also, again, we look at the adaptations and the student reflection. Did you answer all those questions? And last, our supportive skills. We look at how many errors you have in grammar, syntax, and spelling. And also, did you follow the lesson plan format effectively? And did you do research on the internet to find your ideas, to show a clear understanding, to be innovative? We're looking at your ability to use the internet as a resource. We had that website evaluation project, so I know you all have the skills to do that. We want to see that in your lesson planning. Also, I'm going to be looking at that family extension plan, the assessment, and please make sure for your assessment that you have somewhere to record whatever you are choosing. So if you have a worksheet you want them to do, great. If you want to do a checklist, please provide me with that checklist. If you want to do anecdotal notes, please provide me with that record form that you would use. I need to see those tools. And listing your materials, and again, your related materials. I always have students that lose point on related materials. You must have one book that is not already in your lesson plan, one website, and one app that are also not in your lesson plan. These are things that are related but not in this lesson plan, and please make sure you differentiate. And last, you need at least 3 vocabulary words listed, and not only list them, but how will you address that during the procedure? If there's 3 words that you know are important for those students to use, at what point during the procedure will you talk about those words? That's basically our rubric. Again, you can access that on D2L or in the project folder. Please look at that carefully when you're doing your lesson plan, because if you follow this category at the end, it will get you all the points that you need. Now, I do have a lesson plan example. I'm not going to preview this here, but I will post this, and this is also on D2L. So please take a peek at it. This is someone who scored very well on their project, and they've allowed me to share that. This was for an interactive play center, which fell under the early literacy skills category. And then the same student provided me with what they used for their sharing. Now, the sharing, let's see. This is what they gave for their sharing. As they shared their video, they went through this instead of showing their actual lesson plan and broke it down for me. We saw a picture of the book. I prefer to see you with the book, but this is fine as long as we can read it. This was something she was doing on chart paper with the students and what the students were going to say. This is what the center actually looked like, the materials she made. So it was a pizza dramatic play center. For her assessment, she talked about how she would share. I would have liked to have seen the actual journals there, so that was something that she lost points on. Adaptations, you don't have to make the materials for. That's fine. And her reflection was there. So this is just a kind of a little snapshot. I will also provide you on Facebook with some additional videos that were shared in the past that scored well, so you know what the demo video should look like. So look for that. And again, if you have any questions, let me know. Now, that's task 1. That is due on the due date listed on the syllabus and on D2L. And then you'll have approximately 1 week from that due date for task 2. So task 2 is going to be the completion of an instructional strategy task sheet, and that's going to allow you to look at everyone's videos of their lesson plans and actively participate. So I know that you're understanding all those different strategies and seeing them in action. So you have an additional week for this task. And this is the handout. You're probably going to want to print it out and fill it out, and then there'll be a drop box for that. So the first thing you'll do is worth 50 points, and that's your lesson plan participation. I'd like you to watch 3 lesson plan demos on Go React, and you're going to give the video that you watch 2 or more specific feedback comments. So what you'll do, you'll choose someone's video, and I will show you closer to the time what this looks like. You'll go into someone's video and Go React. You'll watch their video, and as you're watching, you'll stop and pause and type in comments. And that's what's so neat about Go React. It allows you just to watch the video and start typing when you have something to say. You're going to write down the name of the first peer you reviewed, the second peer you reviewed, and the third peer reviewed. And I'm going to go in and look at your comments. You need 2 or more specific feedback comments. So not like, I like this, good job. I really want you to think about quality feedback comments. Things like, you can even ask questions. Why did you, actually don't ask questions, sorry. The next area is questions. But you might give, just feedback. I like that you did this because, or I like the book that you chose. I think it would be great with the age group. Be real specific. Think about being meaningful in your comments. On the flip side, that means you're going to receive comments as well that are specific from your peers, and those are valuable to you. The second part is to watch 2 more, not the same people. Please watch 2 different people, and you're going to ask them questions. And that gives you the chance to really find out something that either confused you or you would have done differently and ask a question about it, please put the name of those reviewers. And last, you're going to be required to go back in and answer the questions of the peers that ask you a question. If you do not receive any questions, you will also receive questions from me. So make sure that you have answered any questions that you receive on your Go React video. Please list the name of anyone who asked you a question here that you took the time to answer. So that part is worth 50 points, 20 for the comment section, 20 for the question section, and 10 for answering the questions. The last component is worth the second 50 points. This total project is worth 200 points. The lesson plan is 100, and then the task for part 2 is worth 100. So what you're going to do at that point is you're going to find a lesson plan on Go React that is for early literacy skills or emergent literacy skills. If I scroll back up here, here is the section on early literacy skills. So any lesson plans that fall in those groups or these groups, pick one of those. And it would be optimal to pick something that you have not viewed yet, just because it allows you to see more lesson plans. But you'll view that lesson plan, and then you're going to not comment on Go React, but instead fill out these questions. What did you like about that specific strategy that was used in the lesson plan? Why was it effective with this age group? Why do you think it would be something that you would like to do in your classroom? Then tell me something that you would change about this lesson. What would you do differently? And last, what's something you learned by watching this lesson plan? Maybe it's related to the strategy, but maybe you just learned something else. Maybe you learned something about lesson planning. Maybe you learned something about a great book. Whatever it is, something you learned by watching that lesson plan. Then you're going to choose a lesson plan from the comprehension of vocabulary area. So if you go up here, any of these strategies on Go React that are shared, you're going to watch. And what you'll do then is write down the strategy you viewed. What did you like about the strategy? What would you change about the lesson plan? And what is something you learned? Each of those are worth 25 points, which is a total of 50. The whole project, again, is worth 200 points. And it's a really good learning experience for you, not only planning the lesson and sharing it with your peers, but also going back in and seeing the lessons of your peers so you can see those strategies in action. If you have any questions, please check with me. And remember, Facebook is going to be your go-to resource. Everything is on D2L, but I'll be sharing examples, I'll be sharing videos, and also you'll go to Facebook to find out what you'll be assigned, what topic you'll be assigned. That's all. Have fun with this one. It's a good one.